So here we are taking over Ajax. You can see media prediction of third. We've actually got money to spend in terms of transfer budget, which I think we probably need to take advantage of. In real life, they are having a truly horrendous season. It has improved slightly from earlier on in the season when they were bottom of the table. They have made their way up to sixth in the table, but they do only have 15 points from 12 games, which leaves them 24 points behind PSV at the top, 17 points behind Feyenoord in second. Obviously, there's serious issues at the club. Things need to change, and over the course of the next 5 seasons, can we get Ajax back to the top of the Dutch game and get them challenging in Europe as well? Despite the garbage fire that is Ajax's real life season, the expectation is to win the Eredivisie in the first season and to at least reach the knockout stage of the Europa League. So we might be in for a difficult start to rebuild.
As we're doing this rebuild in real world mode, there wasn't much transfer activity in season 1. Obviously, a lot of players coming in, a lot of players coming out already. There was a bit of budget available. We didn't do much in terms of the outs. Mostly the outs were just players out on loan, in addition to the players that had already gone out. In terms of incomings, the first thing when you notice that when you look at the squad is that there were a couple of goalkeepers, senior goalkeepers, who were out for a few months. So the first thing we did was plump to sign David De Gea on a free transfer, relatively decent wage as well, as good as Rulli, who's out injured. That was the first bit of business we did. And then looking at the squad, I wasn't massively certain where the goals were going to come from. So the next bit of business was to go in and sign Abel Ruiz from Braga. His finishing doesn't look great, but I think probably he's better than any striker that we have, because it's unlikely that we're going to play Bergwijn or Berghuis through the middle. Probably potentially could be better, but it's still potential at this stage. And he's certainly better than Chuba Akpom. Tactic-wise, we're going with a 4-3-3. We're going with the two in midfield as a central midfielder on attack and a deep line playmaker, because we feel it fits the players we've got. The one player that we've locked into the team is Devin Wrench, because I want to try him at right wing back, and he wasn't getting picked there if I didn't lock him in. Otherwise, it picks basically what we would be looking for. We've had an interesting start to the season. We started the league season at home to Heracles, and we ended up with a comfortable 3-1 victory over them, although they did take the lead. We then went away to Excelsior and did not get going at all, and only got really a consolation goal in that game. We did then play Lugano in the Europa League playoff for the qualification. Pretty comfortable first leg victory away from home, and then professional job in the second leg just to make sure that we qualify for the Europa League. As you can see, we've been drawn in a group with Sparta Prague, Dnipro and Lask, so you would hope that we make it through to the knockout stages. So let's see if we can immediately get Ajax back into the title picture. Let's simulate season 1. So we're at the end of season 1 here, and we haven't won the title. We got close to it. We were within 2 points. I mean, basically we were second for over 2/3 of the season, maybe 3/4 of the season there. And in the end, we just drew too many games, because we only lost 2 games all season to PSV, and that game, the second game of the season against Excelsior, who actually in the end finished 4th, so it wasn't maybe such a bad defeat as we thought at the start. We lost out on the title by 2 points. Obviously, it's a massive improvement on where Ajax find themselves in real life at the moment. Europa League. So Europa League, we came top of the group. We won 4 out of 6, drew the other 2, 14 points, pretty safely through at the top of the group there, which obviously meant we didn't play in the knockout playoff round. We then went into the round of 16, where we knocked out AEK, and that was a bit of a struggle. We won 3-2 on aggregate after drawing the first leg of 1-1. And then the quarter-final, we were drawn against Liverpool, and we gave it a go in the second leg. I mean, we lost the first leg 5-1, won the second leg 2-0, but went out 5-3 on aggregate. And Liverpool then went on and got beat in the final by Roma. And then in the Dutch Cup, we got beat 3-1 in the final by PSV, and it looks like we just ran out of legs in the second half looking at the condition of the players, and given the fact that it was 1-1 up to the 70th minute. In terms of how individuals performed, Abel Ruiz, 31 goals in 50 games, exactly what we bought him for. Interesting to see Van den Boomen popping up with 19 goals and Berghuis 13. I think looking at it, we didn't score enough goals. That's something we would need to improve on. In terms of assists, Bergwijn, Taylor, Berghuis in double figures there. Obviously, if we increase the goals, the assists will come up. That's, I think, something we do need to look into, is maybe just trying to improve on what we're doing going forward there. Finance-wise, we've got 27 million, we've got 134,000 wage budget available. So there's scope for some movements. We may, obviously, as it is Ajax, we may be selling some players, which might boost the coffers a bit, but there's enough there to get some players in to try and improve us. Season 2, as you can see, has started a lot better in the league than Season 1 did. Transfer-wise, we didn't do an awful lot. We sold Van Axeldongen for 7 million, sent a load of players out on loan. We sold Brandes for 250,000. The only signing we've made in the summer is Sebastian Baselli. Can play right back, can play centre back, at a push can play left back, and is an improvement on what we've already got in the squad as well. We do have a transfer lined up already for January. We've agreed a deal with Gabriel Barbosa to sign him once his contract at Flamengo finishes, just to add to the extra goal power that we were talking about at the end of Season 1. Tactics-wise, we didn't change much. We've gone same formation, we're just not locking anyone into the team. And so far it's paying dividends. We started with a 7-1 win at home against Excelsior, with a hat-trick for Abel Ruiz and braces for Berghuis and Bergwijn. We then put 5 past Heerenveen with 4 for Berghuis. And then an important game at the start of the season, we beat PSV 3-0. Pretty comfortable. Sutalo with the first, Bergwijn with 2 late on. Berghuis and Bergwijn have both shown up big with goals early on in the season. And then we played Groningen and came away with a 2-0 victory. Goals in the second half from Abel Ruiz and Sivert Manswerk. Obviously, we're in the Champions League, and it's changed to the league phase now. And that's not exactly the best draw we would have hoped for. I mean, PSG, Tottenham, Napoli, Man City, Real Sociedad. Yeah, we're going to be lucky to get out of the league phase, I think, at this stage. But at least things are looking positive domestically. Hopefully we can go one step further than we did in Season 1 and regain the Dutch title. So let's simulate Season 2 and see what happens. And there we have it, Season 2, pretty much a success. I mean, we managed to regain the title, only just though. I mean, we had a plus 75 goal difference, but we ended up on the same number of points as RZ, and luckily we've come away with the title there. In terms of the other competitions, Champions League, we actually made it out of the league phase. How? I don't understand that. We won every game in the league phase. We beat Real Sociedad, Man City, Napoli, Tottenham, Atalanta, PSG. Okay, that's genuinely surprised me. So then the round of 16, we knocked out Inter, again, a surprise. And then in the quarterfinal, we lost the second leg 2-0 against Porto and went out 2-1 on aggregate. And then the Dutch Cup, we won 1-0 after extra time against Excelsior. Kenneth Taylor popping up with a goal just before half time and extra time. A game that I think it's fair to say, dominated. But we just about squeaked the trophy to end Season 2 with the double. Going into Season 3, we don't have as much money to spend. We do have a decent chunk in the wage budget available, but it may be a time to move some players on to boost that transfer budget. So, as you can see, Season 4 started rather well. We've played 4-1-4 with a plus 19 goal difference. There has been a few tweaks to things. Firstly, looking at the transfers, we sold a few players that weren't going to be involved in the first team setup. And we only signed 2 players. The first of which was Pablo Solari, an Argentine winger from River Plate. Can play on both sides, should be good enough. I mean, as you can see, he's played 4 games already. He's scored 3 goals. So he's obviously a goal threat from out wide. And then the other signing we made was to sign Ryan Gravenberch on loan from Liverpool. Just to see if, just to add a bit more depth to the centre midfield, just to see if we can get anything from him after he's come back. Looking at the squad comparison, I feel like he's going to struggle to get game time during the season. But it's just another bit of quality just in case we need them in terms of the depth of the squad. Now, the tweak that we were talking about, we've changed the formation. We've got rid of the defensive midfielder and gone with a second striker so that we can get Abel Ruiz and Gabi Barbosa into the same team. Because although we signed Gabi Barbosa in January, he didn't play very much in the second half of the season and he was making noises about not being playing first team football. So we've decided to go basically you score 4, we'll score 5, which might work as far as the league's concerned, but may have a detrimental effect as far as the Champions League's concerned, potentially. We started the season really well. We played AZ in the Super Cup, and despite Naki Onvar being sent off in the first half, we came away with a 3-0 victory. We then opened the season at home to Heracles, who we put 9 past, with a hat-trick for Gabi Barbosa, with even Owen Windal popping up with 2 from left back. We then followed up that with a 4-0 victory away at Breda, pretty comfortable again. And then we played AZ in the league and beat them 2-0. And then we went to Volendam and beat them 6-1. So overall, no complaints about the start of the season. Champions League wise, again, on paper, it looks like a tough set of fixtures. Last season's did, and we won 8 out of 8. I don't think that's going to happen this season, especially with the tweaking formation. We've got Inter, Atletico Madrid, Tottenham, Liverpool, Milan. So definitely going to be a bit of a tough ask there. But hopefully the change to the formation means we score enough goals to at least make it out of the league phase. And obviously the main aim really domestically is to make sure that we retain that league title now that we've won it back. So let's go ahead and simulate season 3. So, as we kind of expected, Champions League wise, the new formation was not great. We played obviously the 8 games. We managed to beat Marseille and Atletico Madrid. We drew with Wolfsburg and Inter, and then we lost to Monaco, Milan, Liverpool, and got hammered by Tottenham. And missed out by a point on making it through to the knockout stages. League-wise, we won the title by 5 points from Feyenoord. We obviously dominated in terms of the average rating, and Gabi Barbosa top scorer with 24, Bergwijn most assists with 17. We ended up scoring 133 goals in the season and conceding 41, which is good enough for a plus 92 goal difference. I don't mind conceding 41 goals throughout the season if I'm scoring well over 100. And in the end, it was good enough for us to win the title by 5 points. Looking at the squad, Gabi Barbosa, 29 goals from 39 games. Abel Ruiz, 25 from 42. Kenneth Taylor popping up with 19. Solari, in his debut season, popping up with 19 as well. And then Bergwijn with 19 assists and Solari with 14 assists there. Interestingly enough, we ended the season without both of our centre forwards, who were both injured, not out for too long. Barbosa's out for another 5 weeks. Abel Ruiz is out for 2 to 4 months, so he might miss the start of season 4. So that might be something we need to look at in the transfer market. And we've got plenty of money to spend. 44.4 million in the transfer budget, 299,000 in the wage budget, and that's before we move anyone on as well. So season 4 could be a big spending one. Season 4 started in a similar vein to season 3. We've won 4 from 4. We've got a plus 16 goal difference after those 4 games. However, transfer wise, season 4 has been a lot busier than season 3. in terms of the outs, so we sold Anton Guy to Freiburg for 4.4 million. A lot of players went out at the end of the contracts. We sold Brian Brobby to Borussia Mönchengladbach for 5.25 million. And then between the middle of July and the transfer window, we did a lot of sales. So Owen Wijndal out for up to 38 million. Kenneth Taylor to Chelsea for up to 68 million. Chuba Akpong we somehow got 6 million for. And then on deadline day, Chelsea came back in to try and sign Steven Bergwijn, and we got up to 71 million for him. In terms of incomings, having conceded those 40-odd goals in the league, we decided that we needed to sort of maybe strengthen up a bit at the back. So the first signing was Usmani Diomande from Sporting to play centre-half. And then, although David De Gea's not done anything wrong, he is getting on a bit, so we decided to sign a younger goalkeeper. So we went and signed Nicholas Heddal, and then we went pretty big in July and on deadline day. So the first signing was the cheapest of them. We signed Mikhailo Petkovic, who's a left winger. We signed him from Partizan for 7.5 million. He's already, having only made 2 substitute appearances, now apparently worth 34 to 42 million. And then, having lost Kenneth Taylor, having not taken the option up on signing Raymond Gravenberch at the end of his loan spell, we went big for central midfielders. So we signed Fabian Rieder, Swiss international from Rennes, and in the same week we went and signed Adam Wharton for 50 million from Leicester. And then on deadline day, with the money that we got for Steven Bergwijn, we went and signed Hassan Ouedraogo from Real Madrid. And I think we have completely revolutionised our midfield, really strengthened it. In terms of the tactic, we're going with the same tactic that we had in Season 3. And the only person we're locking in is Diomande, because we signed him to play in the first team. As you can see, he wasn't getting picked in the first games of the season. Now, can this retooled squad still compete? Can we retain that title, make it 3 seasons in a row? Can we do better in the Champions League, at least make it out of the league phase, hopefully? Let's find out. Let's simulate Season 4. So I think we can call Season 4 a success. We won the title. We won it by 14 points. We had the same goal difference as the number of points. We scored 127 goals in the season. And then on the 29th of May, this happened. Yes, somehow we not only made it to the final of the Champions League, but we only went and won the damn thing. taking that whole you score 4, we'll score 5 to a whole nother level by doing it in the Champions League final, and Gabriel Barbosa popping up in injury time at the end of extra time to win the Champions League for Ajax. On our way to the Champions League, we finished 12th in the league phase, so we had to go into the knockout playoff round, where we dispatched AC Milan 5-4 on aggregate, having lost the first leg 4-3. We then knocked out Porto 2-1 on aggregate, Man City 4-3 on aggregate in the quarter-final, and Chelsea 4-3 on aggregate in the semi-final, before we then finally, as we saw, beat Tottenham 5-4 after extra time in the final. We made it to the final of the Cup, but got beat by PSV, and really disappointing considering we were 3-1 up at half-time to let them pull us back to 3-3, but then for them to score 2 late goals like they did from Danny Namaso, 87th and 89th minute, to win the trophy. What would have been a treble. Looking at the players, so Gabriel Barbosa, 48 games, 37 goals. Abel Ruiz, 48 games, 21 goals. Solari popped up with 20. Petkovic, the new signing, popped up with 18. Mikatadze, who has been a fringe figure in the squad, popped up with 18 goals as well. Uedrago with 15, Reader with 15, Wharton with 10. That's 8 players in double figures for the season. And then in terms of the assists, Petkovic with 29, Solari with 19, Walton with 15, Uedrago with 13, and Sosa with 11. So Petkovic, Solari, Sosa were getting plenty of assists from the wide players, both fullbacks and wide men. But Petkovic, what a season. Signed for $7.5 million from Partizan. Played 41 games in total, 18 goals and 29 assists, just outstanding. I don't know that there's an awful lot needs doing going into season 5. Potentially because Barbosa's getting on a bit at 30. Maybe he's another striker just to future-proof the squad. But otherwise, I think elsewhere the squad's really strong. It's a good age as well, so we should be able to compete again next season. Budget-wise for next season, we've got 27 million transfer budget and 90,000 in the wage budget, which should be enough for what we need to do. So, season 5 has started off with 4 victories in the league, but not quite as explosive as we have been in the previous couple of seasons. Transfer-wise, we did very little. We sold a couple of fringe players, loaned some players out. Only 1 incoming, and it was done early. We signed Vitor Roque from Barcelona for 59 million. As we said, just sort of future-proofing the squad, although it is our last season. Just an extra bit of depth. Just as well, looking at how many games Mikatadze played and the number of goals he scored, just an extra bit of quality behind Barbosa and Abel Ruiz, just to try and achieve the aims for the season. Again, tactically, we're not doing anything different. I mean, after last season, we'd be foolish to change anything. So we started off with the Super Cup, which we hammered PSV 6-2. Barbosa popping up with a hat-trick. And then we started the league season against Nijmegen with a 3-1 victory away from home. We then played the Super Cup, the UEFA Super Cup, against Fiorentina, and just weren't especially at the races, and they came away with a 2-1 victory in that game. We then bounced back in the league with a 4-2 victory over Twente, a 3-2 victory over Vitesse, which we struggled to. We weren't definitely not at our best in that game. But then Groningen, we put 5 past, and a pretty comfortable victory. So let's simulate season 5 and see if we can make it 4 league titles in a row. So season 5 appears to have been a bit of a success. We'd already seen we'd won the Super Cup, we've won the Dutch Cup, and we have walked away with the league, won by 15 points with a plus 108 goal difference. We'll look at the Dutch Cup first. We went to extra time against PSV and came away with a 2-1 victory thanks to Naki Unvar's winner in extra time. And to be honest, looking at things, it was probably against the run of play, looking at the number of chances they had, the number of shots on target they had. the possession they had. We may have got a bit lucky with that one. But looking at that league table, we've lost one game out of 34. We scored 146 goals on our way to that trophy. We've put 19, so obviously we've only played each team twice, but 19 past Zwolle, 15 past Almere City, and 14 past PSV in the league. Wow. Gabi Barbosa got 38 goals in the league. Petkovic continuing from where he left off in his first season with us, with 19 assists in the league as well. Champions League, we finished 5th in the league phase, so missed out on the playoff round, beating young boys in Fiorentina, St. Gallen, hammering Barcelona and beating PSG, and yet we lost to Shakhtar and Benfica. It's interesting. Then in the round of 16, we knocked out AC Milan 8-7 on aggregate. If anything tells you everything you need to know about the formation we've played these last 3 seasons, it's an 8-7 aggregate where we lost the first leg 4-3 and then won the second leg 5-3. Unfortunately, in the quarterfinals, Barcelona took revenge for the hammering we gave them in the league phase. We won the first leg 4-1 and then got obliterated in the second leg, and it was actually just a couple of late goals as well. Yeah, just not the best performance we've put in the save, but overall the season was a success. Looking at the players, so Gabi Barbosa, 52 games, 53 goals, 16 assists. Petkovic with 22 goals and 26 assists. Abel Ruiz with 21 goals and 18 assists. Uedrago with 19 goals and 16 assists. Vitor Roque managed to get 18 goals. He only started 16 games. Another season with eight scorers in double figures and 9 in double figures for assists as well. There's certainly a big change between season 1 and season 2, and then what happened in season 3, 4 and 5. Obviously we were a lot more open at the back, but boy did we score goals. And there we have it. I think safe to say that was a fairly successful 5 years. First season didn't do much. We finished second in the league, got back into the Champions League, which is obviously better than they look like they're going to do in real life at the moment. And then season 2 we won the cup and the league. Season 3 we won the Super Cup and the league. Season 4, somehow we won the Champions League, the league and the Super Cup. And then in season 5, we've won the league, the cup and the Super Cup. Overall, I don't think I could have expected it going anything like that at all. The change to the formation was a big risk in season 3. And then that summer transfer window we had in season 4, where we completely retooled the midfield, and it led to us winning the Champions League. Certainly did not expect that to be the outcome of the save. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.